Say, Lucy, thank you so much for those hand hearts. Our first guest of the night is loading in chat. Oh, and they just lagged out, right? So we only have 4 guest requests right now, partially because we probably did just start. But then, there's also the reason that this is a new topic. So, guys, we just started the stream for tonight. Thank you so much for those hand hearts with a brand new topic. Let's see how it goes with our very first debate on this topic. What's going on, Toxic? Do you think it is wrong to be trans?
Yes, fuck you.
How old are you? Okay, he just there's another one of the little kids. It's okay. What's up, Anna? All right, let's go ahead and move on to our next guest here, y'all. By the way, guys, if you are in the request, make sure you do think it's gonna be like wrong to be trans. We're just looking for some debates. What's up, man? Do you think it's wrong to be? Oh, he lagged out as well, y'all. I guess we're gonna go to move on. We're gonna go to move on here. Let's talk to our next big guest. This is gonna be Big Bro 711. I don't know quite what to expect out of this topic. What's up, man? Do you think it's wrong to be trans?
Not necessarily. Um,
Okay, why did you request?
so I requested because it's not wrong because you could choose what you want to be, but it goes against what your body figure is.
What?
Hold on, wait, bro. My internet's bugging right now.
Is this like is this like the standard? Is this like the standard anti-trans argument? That was like I
No,
feel like a walnut could have gave a better
I
position.
know, I know. I don't say it's wrong. I'm saying like that's just an opinion. It's
Yeah, what
you
do you
could.
even mean? What do you even mean when you say that? Okay, I guess he just left. Okay, I guess we're just gonna go ahead and move on to the next guest. I didn't even know what he meant when he said that. I guess let's go ahead and talk to our next guest here. What's up, Will? How we doing, man? Brand new topic. I don't know what to expect out of it. I guess we'll see here, chat. Let's go ahead and get our next guest up in here. Thank you for everyone coming in. If you're just coming in, we just started off the stream for tonight. Let's try to hit 50K likes, y'all. What's up, Riley? Do you think it's wrong to be trans? You're on pause, Riley. You're on pause. Get off of pause, Riley. Get off of pause, Riley. Riley, get off of pause. God damn it, dude. Shit. Why? This is pissing me off. Oh, let's talk to Jay Reed here. All right, moving on, I guess, y'all. Here we go. What's up, man? Do you think it's like
Oh,
wrong
sorry,
to be
I didn't mean
trans?
to request, man.
Jesus Christ, you're good. What the fuck is going on with the guest request today? Jeez, guys. All right, I guess we're moving on here. Yeah, the guests are struggling today, guys. The guests are
Hi.
struggling. What's up? Do you think it's wrong to be trans?
No, but I
God,
just want.
why did you
Hang on.
request?
Hang on. Because I want to tell everybody to stop the hate. There's no reason to be hating
Yes.
on trans people.
Stop the hate. Absolutely. You are absolutely correct. Actually, I do agree with that statement, y'all. But make sure if we are in those guest requests that we do think it's wrong to be trans, guys. Make sure we do think it's gonna be wrong to be trans. Guys, please, just I want to debate. I want to debate. What's up, Alex? Do you think it's wrong to be trans?
Yes,
Why?
because fuck.
Oh my god. Why?
Somewhere in the Bible it says it's wrong.
Dude, what verse?
I don't know, but it says something about like
I don't believe that. Does it say in the Bible that it's wrong to be trans? I'm just gonna call you out on this shit. The Bible does not state that transgender individuals are being transgender, because the concept of gender identity, as we understand it, well, it didn't even. Yeah, no, it doesn't say fucking anywhere. Like, yeah, ultimately, like it says nowhere that being trans is wrong in the Bible. Next. Next.
shit. I don't know.
Thank you for that mic check. Do you have anything for me, or are you just like a walnut?
Huh?
Do you got anything for me?
No.
Okay, man. Very interesting. Thank you for that rose. Geez, wow, these guests are. I don't want to get bananaed for bullying and harassment. They're very interesting tonight. What's up, Widow? Do you think it's wrong to be trans?
Um, in a way, but let me explain that before you kind of try and return my statement to me. I believe that you can be whoever the fuck you want. It's not really my issue. But the laws that they make that benefit trans people is wrong.
So it's not wrong to be trans.
To me, I don't really fucking care. I don't agree with the laws that they make. So
Yeah,
the
what
laws
law?
that they make are wrong.
Yeah, what law?
Well, not what law
Yeah,
exactly,
no,
but there's
which
but
law?
there's
Name a
well,
law.
listen. Some states and some private independent companies and shit like that, they make laws that
Name one.
allow, let's say, trans men to female to go into female bathrooms, shit like that.
Thank you for that little
Um,
crowd. Okay, name the law. What's the name of the law?
I don't know the exact name of the law. I just know that it happens,
Yeah,
and
what's one state that they have this in?
they have. I do know that they have it in Michigan because I live in Michigan.
All right, so I just want to point this out. This is like a rule. It's not a law. So if like a company says that like they are accepting of this, and then they implement this as like a rule within their company, this isn't going to be like state or federal law, right? So this isn't mandated or dictated by any form
I
of government.
apologize. That
It's
was
it's on
I.
like the it's on like the and it's on the level of the business, right?
Yeah,
So
I apologize.
just to sum up, so you don't think there's anything wrong with being trans? You just disagree with this notion of like trans individuals using the correct restrooms?
Yeah, that in a way.
Okay, man. Well, so my response to that is just simply going to be that, like, I think that they're like completely within their rights to use that restroom, right? Just simply because of like, the empirics to back the idea of gender identity being rooted in like our biology, and being trans is like being not a choice and natural. It just makes sense to me. But I guess that's not really what I'm here to debate. So I appreciate you for coming up, Widow.
Hey, Dean, have a good rest of your night, man.
Yeah, you as well. All right, guys. If we are in the guest request, make sure we do think it's going to be like wrong or moral to be trans. Let's go ahead and talk to Christina, man. By the way, guys, let's try to get to 100K likes. So tippity tap tap away on that phone screen here, y'all. What's up? Do you think it's wrong to be trans?
Yeah.
Okay, why?
Okay, so why do they want acceptance if they couldn't accept themselves?
Yeah, so I think they did accept themselves, and they want everyone else to realize that and like accept them for who they are, right?
Okay, but like they didn't really accept themselves.
I mean, I digress from that, right? So I think like the best definition of like a woman is going to be like an adult human who like identifies with and embodies characteristics and traits typical that of a female. And I just say like the science that backs the idea or the notion that gender identity is going to be rooted within our biology, is going to basically go to show that they would be accepting themselves by identifying with this gender identity of the opposite sex. Um, so I think, yeah, I think that they actually just simply are accepting themselves.
Okay, but I also have a question. Do you think breastfeeding is okay?
Sure.
When men try to breastfeed a child?
When men try to best, are you talking about like a biological male?
Yeah.
Well, a biological male cannot breastfeed a child.
Well, there's something that they're doing that they can try to, breastfeed a child.
Yeah, like what? What are you talking about?
Okay,
Why is
so
it wrong to be
basically, like,
trans? Why is it wrong to be trans?
first of all, like a kid needs its nutrients, right? So,
Yeah,
a mother needs to provide the child
not
with the
necessarily.
nutrients
There's
from
also
their
like
milk.
there,
So
there's
why?
also like there's also like fake milk, like powder. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand, but
Right.
they have the nutrients, right? But men
Mm.
don't have those nutrients. They take
Well, biological
chemicals.
males don't have those nutrients, right? So yeah,
Exactly.
so like biological
100%.
females are going to be able to like produce like milk out of their breasts. Biological males are not going to be able to do this. How does this show being trans is wrong?
Because it's literally like if a trans dude was trying to chest feed a child, that's child abuse.
No, it's not child abuse. They just can't produce milk.
Okay,
And how does
then
this show that being
they
trans is wrong?
because it's wrong to abuse a child like that.
Right. So could we just like imagine a case where this like biological female can't produce milk out of her breasts? Would you say that that's also child abuse?
Wait, what?
A biological female that suffers from like a certain condition that disallows her to not produce milk out of her breasts, is this also going to be child abuse?
It can't be child abuse because she
Right.
can
So
provide the
it just
child
seems like if you
with
like try to no, it just seems like regardless of your biological sex, if you try to breastfeed a child when you can't produce breast milk, this is probably like not going to be a smart idea.
Okay, but do you agree that chest feeding is wrong?
No, like breastfeeding a child like milk is not wrong.
Chest feeding like a dude, not a female. I'm talking about a dude.
Wait, so it's only going to be wrong if like this milk cannot be produced or it's not or the nutrients are not given to the baby, right? It's like what I'm
Okay,
getting at
but
here is like if like the deliverance of nutrients are not given to the baby by this type of feeding, then it's like probably not a good type of feeding. I don't understand what you're saying. I'm so lost.
okay. I mean,
Why is
you
it
can
wrong to
kind
be trans, Christina?
okay. Well, one, I feel like, gender dysphoria, right?
So gender
So
dysphoria is going to be a condition, or sorry, a symptom, not
I
a
feel like,
condition.
okay, I feel like transgender is wrong, but I don't think transsexual because transsexual actually go through gender dysphoria. I think transgender
Wait, so like
people
gender
just want to
dysphoria,
fit
like
in with a
pretty much
trans.
like I'm gonna like take a big assumption here. So like gender dysphoria isn't a condition. This isn't like a root cause. It's not like a mental illness. What it is it's a symptom of being trans. So like imagine this, Christina, if I dressed you up in like a bunch of man's clothes and like like cut your hair to like a similar haircut as
That's a
mine,
tomboy.
and like no just listen, right? Would you like and then like put you in like a business suit and had you go to the gym and get big muscles? Would you say that you might feel kind of dysphoric about your gender?
No.
So that's a lie, right? So if you
No,
just looked in
because
the mirror
I
and you
do
looked like
have
a man,
muscles.
all right, so that's just gonna be a lie. I like what I'm like specifically
No,
trying to
like
state
as
here,
a
Christina.
kid, I would.
What I'm trying to state here, right? So like there's gonna be like an incongruence between the gender identity of this individual and then like their biological sex. So it's like quite plausible that this individual is gonna feel quite dysphoric about their gender identity because it does not align with their phenotypical sex traits. And like necessarily like how's being trans wrong? Like you're not making a whole lot of sense. Like you're not making
Wait,
any
what? A
sense.
trans cow?
What?
Wait, what?
Why is being
I'm so
trans
sorry,
wrong?
bro. Oh, I thought you said a trans cow. I'm so sorry. Okay. So,
Okay, I'm gonna
I'm
go ahead
so
and move on
sorry.
to
I
the
can't
next
take this.
guest. All right, we're gonna go ahead and talk to the next guest. I don't I don't know quite what that was. Yeah. I don't know what that was. I'm gonna be honest. I guess we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next guest. Yeah. What's up,
All
man?
right,
Do you
so
think
what's the
it's wrong to be
question?
trans? I mean, do you have eyes? Can you read?
I bet. All right. Yeah, I think it is.
Okay, why?
I think it is because, like, there's no way a woman could be a man, and there's no way a man could be a woman.
Well, I mean, it depends on how you define the words, right? So if you're just defining the words off of like the biological sexes, such as like a woman is like, best being defined as, like an
What do you
adult
mean
human
define the
female.
words? What is the definition of a woman?
Yeah, so I think the best definition of a woman is going to be
Look
like
it
an adult
up.
human who identifies with and embodies characteristics and traits typical that of a
Yeah.
female, right?
What is the definition of a man?
Yeah, so I think an adult human who identifies with and
What's the
embodies traits and
definition of a
characteristics
man,
typical
bro?
that of a male.
Right.
And if you agree with these, then you're
So
basically
a woman
validating that
can't
trans individuals.
have
Wait, I'm
balls,
so
so
sorry.
therefore,
Wait, I'm so sorry. Did you just agree with my definitions?
no, I just said a woman can't have balls, bro,
Yeah, so
and a
like if
man
we're
can't have a pussy.
right,
I
so
mean
if
a
I'm
vagina.
defining, now just listen, right? So if we're gonna go ahead and define like a woman as an adult human who identifies with and embodies characteristics and traits typical that of a female, then like a woman would be able to have balls if they identify with and embody characteristics and traits typical that of a female, right? So like when we talk about a
Okay,
trans
so
woman, which is
let's
gonna be
just
like,
say
just
that's true, right?
stop talking, right? So if we're going to be talking about like a trans woman who's like an M to F trans, like what
Who
we're going to
said
be
stop
specifically
talking?
looking at is like a few things, right? So first of all, like gender identity is going to be rooted in biology. So like this M to F trans individual like has the neurobiology of a typical female, and this has been proven by science. We could also look at like their genome, and there's going to be like specific qualities of their genome that exist that are more typical that of a female. And this is going to like lead to the
Okay,
conclusion
bro.
that like gender
But
identity is rooted within biology and caused by nature.
okay, let me ask you one important question, right?
Right.
Can a man get impregnated and have a child?
Yeah, sure. I mean,
Huh?
right? Yeah, I mean, you accepted the definition of a man as to be an
No,
adult
right?
human who identifies with and embodies characteristics and traits typical that of a
Only
male.
women can bring life into this world.
Yeah, so could you go ahead and define
Only a
woman?
woman can bring life into this world.
Right, define woman.
Define. What do you mean? Like it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
wait,
A
so I'm
a
sorry. How are you? Wait, no,
biological
define
woman,
woman. Define woman.
a biological woman
Yeah, define woman.
can bring life into this world.
Yeah, so what if they're infertile and they
A
can't bring life into
man
the
that
world? Are they no
turned
longer?
himself
Bro,
into a
alien,
woman
listen to me.
is a man.
Define the word woman.
Like
I'm so sorry. It seems like you can't even
he
define the
can
word
call
woman.
himself a woman.
Bro, alien, you
People
have
can
ears,
people
right?
can.
No, like you have ears, right? Like I hope you have ears, right? So when I ask you a question, it's not just like your turn to just act like you didn't hear it and continue to talk, right? So answer the question, define woman, right? Because it seems like you can't define woman, which is like pretty strange, right? Because if you're saying that trans women aren't women, but yeah, you can't define woman, this is going to be like more showing of like your ignorance and prejudice against them compared to like some like genuine rationale to back the idea that they aren't.
Bro,
So identify,
I
so
don't think you're
define
getting
woman.
what I'm saying.
No,
You're just
alien, answer my
countering. You're
question.
trying to
Answer my
counter
question.
everything
Define
I'm saying
woman.
instead of
Define woman.
listening.
Define woman.
Define woman.
Yeah. Define woman.
A person with a uterus. How about
Okay.
that?
Yeah, what if they have MRKH that causes them to be born without a uterus, but they still look and act exactly like your mom? Is this still a woman?
Okay.
But they don't have a uterus, so under your
Like
definition, they're not going to be. So therefore, they're not a woman, right?
that. Yo, all right. So
No, answer my
if you had
question.
a daughter,
Answer my question. Answer my question. Is this individual going to be a woman? So they look,
what?
they look, they act, they talk just like your mom, right? Just like your mother. But they have MRKH, which is like a condition
Okay.
that causes this individual to be born without a
If their
uterus, right?
DNA says they're a woman, then they're a woman.
Okay, so now it's about the
Let's
DNA,
get
like
down to the nitty
chromosomes?
gritty, bro.
Yeah, so like their chromosomes?
Yeah, let's get
Yeah,
down to the
so
nitty
okay, so
gritty.
it has to do with the chromosomes. So what if they're born with Swires, which is going to cause this individual to be like chromosomally like male, but phenotypically female, meaning they're going to look, act, talk, and be just like your mom, yet they're going to have XY chromosomes. Is this still a woman?
Bruh. You're not getting it, bro.
No, I'm asking you questions. You just said
We're
well, a
we're
woman is
talking
like
about trans.
no, right? So you just defined a
We're talking
woman.
about trans. We're
Right,
not talking
alien,
about
alien. No, what I'm doing is
people that
definitional.
was born with
What I'm doing like
deformities
what I'm doing is like
shit
definition
wrong with
drill
their
down.
DNA.
So I'm showing your definition of a woman to be inadequate. I'm showing it to be lacking, right? Because you're saying that like trans women aren't
Bro,
women.
we
So now
talk
I'm
about
attacking your
trans, and
definition
you
of a
talking
woman.
about
Alien, I
people
need you
with
to listen. I need you to listen.
abnormalities in their
I
DNA.
need you to
DNA.
listen, right? All right, alien, right? So you defined woman as an individual with a uterus. So then I'm like, what about this individual that looks and talks and acts like a woman but
Bro,
doesn't have a
why are they
uterus?
called trans, bro? Trans.
Yeah, why are they called cis?
Transformation.
Oh, that's not what trans mean.
Transform.
That's not what trans mean.
You
If
feel
you, bro,
me?
yeah, alien. If you take like
Transform, my
one
guy.
simple like literature class, you will know that the prefix trans just means of the
Bro,
opposite.
transform. Transformation.
This so it
You
just uses the
can
same
you can
it
have
just uses the
50
same prescripts,
surgeries, my
right?
boy.
So I'm gonna
You can
say that
have
like I'm gonna just need you to listen, right? So when we look at this like prefix of trans, if you take like one simple literature course, you'll learn that this just means of the opposite. So when we're looking at a trans woman, we're looking at this like woman that has something of the opposite. Now, what exactly is this? Well, when we look at the deterministic factors of sex, we're going to be looking at chromosomes, we're going to be looking at our neurology, the inactivation or the activation of the SRY gene, thank you for that subscription, as well as hormone configuration and hormone function. And this trans woman was born with 4 out of these 5 traits being typical that of a biological male. However, they have the neurology typical that of a female, and this is what makes them trans. And we've been able to show that gender identity is tied to our neurology through a whole lot of fancy-dancy tests done on the brains of trans and cis people, right? And this is going to be what makes them a trans woman, right? But like, so this is like the explanation of like what trans means. It's a prefix. But like going back to what you were saying, so you were saying like the definition of woman is an individual with a uterus. So then all I did was I asked you about this case of a woman born without a uterus. Are they still a woman? And you're like, yeah. But then you shifted it to DNA, right? The chromosomes. So then I asked you another question, and I need an answer on it. If they are born chromosomally male but phenotypically female, like from Swire's syndrome, would you say that this individual is still a woman?
Bro, and my reply to that is
Leave the handouts.
we're not talking about people who were born abnormalities in their DNA, bro. We're talking about if you were born a man and if you were born a woman, bro.
Right, and like the trans individual
Man,
has an
you gotta go to the
abnormality in their
doctor and get Swiss cheesed up.
Yeah,
to
and when you
become a
and when you
woman.
when you go to the
If you're a
doctor, they'll
woman
tell
and
you
you
that.
want to be a
Yeah, so now
man, you got to
listen.
take all these type of pills and
Right, alien, I need you to
stuff,
listen. So when
bro.
you go to the doctor, like they'll
Like
tell you that this
that's
is like
not.
a naturally occurring
You're
condition
not a
of the human
man. You're not a
experience.
woman, bro.
Right, so alien, you just said they need to go to the doctor. And
If
what's
a
gonna
trans
happen?
male and a
Bro,
trans woman
alien,
have
right?
sex,
So
what they
like you
gonna
can't
get?
just like we can't just like talk at the same time,
A
right?
baby,
We
right?
can't just like talk at the same time, right? I don't know like how else to explain this to you. We can't both talk at the same time, right? So now I'm gonna talk, right? So you said if a trans person needs to go to the doctor. Well, what happens if a trans person goes to the doctor? Well, they're going to be told that this is a naturally occurring condition of the human experience, right? Being trans is a mental illness. It's not a choice. It's rooted in biology and it happens naturally. Thank you for that, a mustache. Who exactly says this though? WHO, the APA, and the DSM, the AMA, the ES, the BPS, the APS, the CPA, the RCP, the ACA, the APHA, the ACP, the AFP. I can name institutions all day long, right?
We're not talking about institutions here, Dean. You know
So every time I bring up a point that you
we're
don't like, you're just like,
oh
we're not
my
talking about
bro.
that.
Can you let me talk, my boy?
No.
Cause you know it's the truth. That's why.
No, every time I bring up a point, you're
Bro,
like,
you
we're not
know it's the
talking about that.
truth, boy.
You can't even define woman. How would you possibly know what the truth is if you can't define woman? Like, you're over here saying
Anybody
that
can
trans
go on
women aren't
Google and
women.
just look it
Alien,
up.
so you're over here
YouTube.
saying that trans
If
women
you want
aren't
the
women, but then
technical
you can't define
definition,
woman. You're over here saying that trans women
you
aren't women,
know,
yet you can't
like
define women.
what?
You're over here saying that trans women aren't women, but you can't define woman.
Oh my God, bro. That's not proving your point.
Yes, it is. Because how do you know that they aren't a woman if you can't define that word?
Bro, I know what a woman is. Let's just
Yeah,
put
what
it
is
like
it?
that.
Define it.
Like if we want to get down to
Thank you for that galaxy.
super definition trying to define stuff, I mean, the Google is right here. I can just look it up,
Yeah, look it up.
you know.
Yeah, then do it.
But
Then do it.
you
Then
know
look it
what,
up.
Dean? You understand? You don't. I don't think you understand like what
I
you're actually
understand the
trying to
external
do. I
world.
don't think you
I
understand
understand the
your
world
point
around
either,
you and
bro.
I so much better than you do.
I
I
don't
have a
think you
very good
understand your point
comprehension of
either,
this.
bro.
Yeah, so the point that I'm making is that like this traditional definition of the word woman is inadequate because there's going to
I'm
be
not
many
scared to look it up,
variation,
chat.
right? Alien, I listen, right? So what I do understand is that the traditional like definition of the word woman is going to be inadequate because this is going to allow for a lot of like arbitrariness and holes in individuals who would typically be considered women, such as women that are not born with uteruses, or such as women that have Swyer syndrome that are genetically
We're not
right?
talking about
Male, right?
Swyer syndrome,
Right.
bro.
So no. What I'm saying is like this is my first point that the traditional definition of the word woman is inadequate, right? And then my second point is that there's a better definition of this word that is all encompassing and aligns with our understanding of science, right? So what we've seen is trans women. These aren't just like biological men who are delusional. They're biological males who have the neurobiology of a typical female. Right. And this is going to be like the one consistent trait, all across the board when we're talking about gender identity. Right. Because, like, imagine this. If, like, I took your consciousness out of your body and put it into a computer, would you still feel like you were a man? Would you still be a male? Would you still be a man?
This is not what we're talking about.
Dude,
That's not the
every
argument.
time I ask you a question, you're like, this is
Because
not
you
what we're
keep
talking about.
going.
Right. I'm going to ask you one more time, and I need you to answer, right? If I took your consciousness out of your body and put it into a robot, would you still feel like a man? Would you still be a man?
We're not talking about putting your consciousness in a computer, bro. We're talking about
Alien, last time, man. If you don't answer, I'm going to kick you and I'm going to move on to the next guest. Answer the question. If I took your consciousness out of your body and put it into a computer, would you still be a man? Well, apparently we're not talking about this, right? I don't know what's going on, chat. Oh, he doesn't want to unmute. I guess we're just going to go and move on to the next guest. Hey, guys, make sure if you're going to come up here on the panel that you could at least name all 7 continents, answer very, easy math problems, and hopefully have an IQ over 40, y'all. But if we're enjoying the debate so far today, make sure we're tippity-tapping away on that phone screen. Let's try to get up to 300,000 likes, y'all. Also, hit that follow button. This is my first time using or running this topic, so we're just going to go ahead and see how it does, right? So let's go ahead and get our next guest up in here. Let's go ahead and talk to Van here, chat. Let's go ahead and talk to Van here, chat. Moving on, what's going on, Van? What's going on, Van? Do you think that being trans is going to be wrong? You are so quiet, man. Speak up.
Yeah, I
Speak up.
think it's wrong. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, why is it wrong?
Well, first of all, it is wrong because it affects a lot of things, and for me personally, I think
Such
most
as?
of most of what is affecting today is creating a lot of chaos in the social structure of things. First of
Well,
all,
chaos in the
when you go,
social structure isn't always going to be
yeah,
bad, right?
it's always going to be part of it. But when you go to places like Thailand, for example, right, you have young men who call themselves ladies boys. They don't try to interfere into what women do. They don't try to be in women's spaces. But in the West, it's used as a way of, creating social conflict. And you have that constant conflict of people being divided. When you have this social constant conflict that comes from, I believe,
I
a
need you to speak
political.
up. You're literally so quiet, man.
Oh, really? Okay. I think I'm talking loud enough. Now, when you have this conflict where women are real women or biological women, if we may say, are put aside. You have situation where women beauty pageants are being worn by trans. You have women's spaces being invaded by trans men, trans women, if you call it. I think that makes it wrong at that point. So you create such a chaos, and this is the chaos you don't want to have.
Are you still
What
talking, dude? Can you please be more concise?
I am talking. So what
I
I'm
know, I need
saying
you to be
here,
more concise, right?
yeah. So what I'm saying here is, it is wrong because what most women, in fact, are standing up supporting today. They are going to be the one fighting against it in 20, 30 years because it's going to get so rampant. It's going to get so bad that women, biological women, will have more problems because men, weaker men, will move into their spaces more, and that's going to hurt young women who are unborn today. They will have more problems. So what they are fighting,
Dude,
what are women
Van, stop. Dude, you've been talking for 3 minutes. I need you to be so much more concise. Like, you've been talking for 3 minutes. This is a
I just
debate. Make a
yeah.
statement. Be concise.
So I told you it's wrong, and I told you why
Yeah,
it is
why?
wrong.
No. Sum it up. I don't need a monologue. I don't need a tangent. Sum it up and tell me why it's wrong in 1 to 2 sentences.
It is creating chaos for women. It's creating insecurity for women, for young women. It's creating problem for young women. Their spaces are being invaded, and I think that's where I think it is
Right.
terribly wrong.
So
And I
here's the
think
thing, though.
women are
Here's
the
the thing,
people
though.
who
So
should
I, I
stop it.
disagree. I disagree with this notion on like multiple fronts. So first of all, you're just automatically
Fair
assuming that like
enough.
trans women are not going to be women, right? And that's a debate of its own. You're just presupposing that they're two indistinct things that have no correlation to one another, and then you are using this to create this division between the two ideas, right? And then you're saying like the trans women are invading the real women's places. You know, they're invading these real women's spaces. They should not be in those spaces, and it's creating chaos, right? But like I think like the first step is first going to be like having the debate on if they are women, because if they are women, then they should be accepted in these spaces, right? And like what I mean by this is like where else have we seen like similar social chaos? Well, let's just go back to like the Jim Crow laws of like the mid 20th century, right? When apparently, you know, I feel like this is what a white person would say back then. Oh, like all the black people are creating social chaos by going into the white people's spaces, until we gained a little bit more intellect as a society and saw that black and white people were intrinsically the same, and that we should not, you know, like differentiate between the two. And like now, what I'm saying is that trans women and cis women are going to be one and the same under the definition of woman, right? So I think the best definition of a woman is going to be an adult human who identifies with and embodies characteristics and traits typical of that of a female. Do you disagree with this definition?
Yes, I do.
Okay, how do you define it?
An ideal female with a XXX chromosome.
Well, okay, with an XX chromosome. So then, do you think that like women with like Swyer syndrome are invading these spaces? If you have Swyer syndrome and you're a woman, you're born with XY chromosomes. So should we like kick these women out of the bathrooms? Should we kick these these women out of the beauty pageants too? Should we kick all these guys out of the spaces? No, obviously you're not going to say that.
No, I'm not going to say that. Why? Because if I give you right now the example you're using, they are very rare. Now, if I tell you right now, I don't know what your name is. If I say, hey, bro, this is a medicine. If you take this medicine, you have 10% chance of survival, but 90% chance of death. Will you take that medicine? No,
No, personally, I want it.
because exactly. So you are using an example that is really rare. So you cannot pick the rarest example to use on a situation that is spreading
Well, I mean, does it apply to
across.
your definition or not, right? So, like, look, even if we have like one case of this individual that you would define as a woman, but does not fit the definition of woman, like, we're gonna have problems, right? So let's just like assume that like there's only been one individual ever born with Swires. Well, you defined woman as an adult human with XX chromosomes. Well, this is not an adult human with XX chromosomes. Therefore, it would be categorically different from your description, right? So like
Right.
you could like I don't understand this like objection at all, right? So when you say, "Oh, it's so rare." Well, okay, yes, it is rare, but it still does not fit your criteria for what you defined as a woman.
It is rare. Therefore, when such a case arises, then we know there is that possibility, but we cannot use
Right?
the rarest example to create some
Well, I mean,
in
are they
some
still a
cases
woman?
laws.
I mean, well then
They
like
are
what attributes do they possess that still makes them a woman?
absolutely,
Yeah, such
absolutely.
what like such as what attributes do
They
they possess that
they
still makes them a
they
woman?
they were born with the biology of women. They did not become it by some
So
drug
having
created in the
having
lab.
some so what you're saying is having some of the biology of a woman can make you a woman? Thank you for that hat and
Ha-
mustache.
having the biology the full biology of a woman makes you a
Okay.
woman.
Well, then
Being
this
born
individual
with it,
doesn't have now
be,
listen, right? So this
being
individual
born
doesn't have the full biology of a woman
being
because they're missing the
be,
XY chromosome. So
being
what still makes
born
them a
with it
woman? No, Van,
being
listen.
born with it make
Right,
them a woman.
Van, listen, right? So this individual with Swyer syndrome does not have the full biology of a typical female. Why? Because well, they do not have XX chromosomes. Why are they still a woman?
Well, I just told you you're using the rarest of case
No, no,
to
answer my
make
question. Why are they still a woman?
they are a woman because they were born with the biology of a
Yeah,
woman.
no, okay. So if you're
Exercise
born
or
with some of the biology, so
with a
now if you're
with a
born with some of
woman
the biology of a
private.
woman, you're going to be a woman. We're sweet, yeah. So trans
Right.
women are born with the neurobiology of a woman, right? So we could look at institutions such as the Netherlands Institute for Brain Research. This is another institution that I use for, like my why is being gay wrong topic, as well as like a lot of studies that show that like trans women possess like neurobiology that is typical of that of a woman. Like we could look at like the sexual differentiation of the human brain in relation to gender identity and sexual orientation by I. Slavic and S. Arver. And this basically shows that like, these scientists use brain imaging techniques to examine the brain structure and function of of transgender and transsexual individuals. Like we
Right.
concluded that, like trans women who are biological males possess the neurobiology of a typical female. So under your descriptor that a woman is born with the biology of a woman, well, trans women quite literally are.
Well, for me today, I would tell you one thing: the scientific community, first of all, on this issue is becoming either grossly corrupt because there are agendas they want to
Yeah,
push,
so can I
and
link you some studies?
and
No, instead of the conspiracy
no,
theories.
no, I'm
No,
not
no,
doing
no.
I'm
No, no,
I
Van.
don't
No,
deal in
chill,
that.
chill, 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 chill.
I don't
So,
deal
like,
in
no, no, no. Instead, no, you can't just reject the science. You have to critique the science, right? So, can I, like, put a study on my background and can you show me where they, like, went wrong in it? Can you, like, show me, like, where, like, this test is being shown to be false or fallacious, right? Because, like, what matters isn't that you say it's false, it's that you prove or justify that it's false. Can you do that for me? Go ahead and unmute.
okay. Uh, save. Right. Yeah. Right. Can you hear me now?
I can. Can you please show that the
Right.
science is false? Can you please show that sexual
So
differentiation of the
what?
human brain in relation to gender identity and sexual orientation by those two authors is false? Can you please show like shared
Well,
genetic contributions
well,
to anxiety
Dean,
disorders and
Dean, Dean,
pathological?
I'm not gonna read in the selective research you
It's
just
not
picked
selective
out from
research.
nowhere.
No, it's not
It
from
is
nowhere.
selective.
It's from like the
It is
biggest
selective.
institution of brain research,
It,
right? So the
it is,
Netherlands Institute for
of
Brain
course,
Research,
of
like the
course.
Center for
So if
Neurochronologies
it
at
is,
UCLA, like the University of Pittsburgh and Massachusetts have also done this. We could also look
there
like
are
the AMA, the
also
APA, the AMA, the
there are
ES, the
research that
WHO.
come out every day, and there are other research that also rebuke those
Okay,
research,
so name one study that
giving some
rebutes.
other
Yeah, so
points.
name one study
No,
that rebutes this research. Name one. No, no,
Dean,
no, Van, you just made an
this is
insertion.
this is
No, Van.
this is
No,
this
listen.
is
No,
this
listen,
is.
Van. Nope. Stop. 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 You said
I
that there
think
is
we
research. Nope.
deviating from
Nope.
the we
Stop.
deviating
Nope.
from.
Stop. You're saying that there is research that exists to rebut the research done that shows that trans women possess a neurobiology that is typical of that of a female. Give me one institution or one academic study that agrees with that statement. Give me one. Give me one study that actually rebutes it. Substantiate your claims, right? Go ahead and unmute. Because if we make claims, we need to justify them. Go ahead. You're muted. You're muted, man. You're muted, Van. You're muted. Van, you're muted, dog. You gotta
Yeah,
unmute.
can you hear me now?
Yes, so you made the claim that there is
All
research
right.
that rebutes the studies done that show my statement about neurobiology. Name me one piece of
No, no,
research.
I you didn't hear me. What I said was every now and then there are research that come out about a particular topic, and a few years later, another research comes out and say the contrary to that,
Okay, so
and
give me something
that
that
is
says the contrary of that.
that's why the science evolves. And
Right,
now
so
I'm
then give me
telling
one
you
study that
now,
says the contrary of that.
I do not, Dean, I do not have such
What is the
research right
research?
now.
So then you're
However, what
making
I
a
can
false
tell
claim.
you, what? No, no, I'm not making a false claim. I'm just
Yes, you
living
are.
in the biology and the reality we
Yeah,
both
and the
were born
biology of
into.
reality
It,
is that like all these
the biology
institutions
of
like the
reality
WHO, the
is
APA, the
if
AMA, the ES, the
a
BPS, the
man
RCP, the
or
CPA, the
a
APS, the
man has an
ESSM,
X,
the AAP, the
XY
ACP, the AFP, the
chromosome.
ACA, and the APHA all show this to be the case, bro. Provide one piece of research to show that this is false.
You are not gonna. This is not about winning an argument,
Yes, it
Dean.
is,
We just
right?
want to.
No, no, it's about
We just.
substantiating our claims.
No,
You're right.
no.
It's not about that. What it is about is to substantiate our claims. Substantiate your claims by giving me one piece of research.
I just told you. You went and find some research
Name me
that
one
you
institution.
want to pull out there to push an agenda. I'm not falling for that. I'm going
Van,
just to
okay,
the
no, dude.
normal.
I don't look, man. This is scientific research by credible institutions. If you don't believe the research, you either have to critique it and show where the research is wrong, or you have to offer research to rebut it. Van, if you cannot answer this question, I'm moving on to the next guest. Name one piece of research or one critique.
Dean, you can gladly move on to another one, but then I'll tell
All right,
you.
sweet, sounds good, man. Yeah, I mean, guys, if we can't like substantiate our claims, like, right, we like, like, if we can't like provide sources or justification for why something's gonna be false or one thing that disagrees, then like we probably like shouldn't have that. You know what I mean? We're gonna go ahead and do one more, then probably switch our topic. I don't think this one's performing the best. Thank you so much for that. Love you. I appreciate it. Next guest is loading in here. All right, that guy's not connecting. We're gonna go to move on to the next. What's up, man? Do you think that it's wrong to be trans?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, why?
Well, I mean, all right, first question is, would you talk to a transgender?
Would I? Like, what do you mean talk? Like, of
Yeah,
course I'd have a
personally.
conversation with one.
Personally, would you date a transgender?
Like a transsexual, like a male to female trans now.
Okay, and what is your reason for that?
Yeah, because I'm not attracted to the genitalia of like my biological sex.
Okay, but like you said, realistically, they're transforming. They have a transformation of a woman,
All right.
but you still feel, but you just like you just said, you still wouldn't be attracted to it.
Yeah, because the definition of a woman isn't what's in between one's legs, and I'm not attracted to what's in between my own legs. So if a woman has this, like I'm not gonna date them.
But what if surgically they got it removed?
They surgically got it removed.
Yes.
Yeah, sure. So then I'd be open to the idea, right?
You say you would be open to the idea?
I mean, yeah. So like, this is completely dependent upon like, like my personal preferences towards like a specific individual, right? So now, answer the question: do you think it's wrong to be trans?
Yeah, it's wrong
Yeah,
because
why?
realistically, let's say you're walking down the street or whatever. Well, for first, I mean, before I even go there, it's manipulative
How so?
because most trans don't tell you they are until afterwards, until after they got you. So
Right.
then at
So
that
like, how
point,
is this gonna make like being trans wrong? You're just saying like these actions that trans individuals have taken are wrong. Well, can I just say that like being straight's wrong and then name off like harmful or wrong actions that straight people have taken?
I mean, what is your example of that?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, most straight men, or like most grapes are committed by straight men as being straight, therefore wrong. Just like you're saying that most like manipulation on what's in between one's leg is committed by trans people, therefore trans is wrong.
Okay, but more so, rape is like a mental illness.
Rape, no, that's not a mental illness. That's an action.
Yeah, it's an action, but their thinking process of what they do is mentally ill.
I mean, it's definitely a bad one, right? So how does this make being trans wrong?
Trans, therefore, you're projecting a false self. You're projecting a false self.
Not necessarily. I mean, actually, it's going to align with like what their brain tells them that they're supposed to think, right? So, like for example, a trans woman quite literally has the neurobiology that is typical of that of a female, right? So this is actually going to be projecting a correct sense of self. Not to mention that not one institution of medicine or science, including the APA and the DSM, do not deem it as a mental illness, right?
Right? Well, realistically, it would be 50-50. It would be right and wrong because it's wrong because you don't appreciate how you were born or made.
No, they were born and made like that, right? So like the neurobiological traits that would like be like would induce this like gender identity start development at like 8 weeks gestation with the inactivation or the activation of the SRY gene. So they quite literally are made for this and they are born like this.
But what about the people that aren't born like that?
Well, then they're not trans, right?
But let's say they still go through the process the same as the other people.
Yeah, so it's not the process. It's not like it's not like like sex reassignment surgery that makes you trans. It's having the neurobiology or like aligning it with traits that are typical of that of the opposite biological sex that makes you trans.
I just feel like that the process of doing that is just saying you don't appreciate, you're not embracing with your how you were born.
Yeah,
But
because your
then
brain
again,
no, it
wait,
is
wait,
embracing how
wait,
you're
wait,
born.
wait,
Your
wait,
gender
wait.
identity, like again, I don't know how many times I need to explain this to you. They
I'm
were
not finished.
born with a gender identity that is in
You, di-
miscongruence with their
you didn't
with
let
their
me finish.
phenotypical sex traits.
That's the side of I call it wrong. The other side
What?
is some
Wait, no,
people.
wait, and no, engage with this, right? So this is why you thought it was wrong. But what I'm saying is that they were quite literally designed in this fashion. They're like neurobiology does not align with their phenotypical sex traits, and this creates like a feeling of like like incongruence between like how they feel in their brain and how they look on the outside, right? This is going to be like this, right? And so this is going to be like highly indicative of this. And like sex reassignment surgery is simply like aligning those traits, right? And this is going to be like good for like a lot of reasons, right? So like when we actually like look at the research, like the AAP has like published guidelines for like gender affirming care, and it is shown to like improve mental health outcomes. Like the APA has published similar guidelines, and they've stated that it like reduces psychological distress, and again improves mental health, right? And like there's a whole lot of institutions that have done this, and like all the findings say that it improves like mental health and well-being and decreases stress, like psychological stress, right? And this is going to be like the obvious truth.
But that speaks specifically for the people that was born that way. But then again, how the
Right.
community is set up.
Because those are the only people that have that incongruence, right? Like this
Yeah,
is what the science shows is that if you are trans, like you have this like the incongruence between your neurobiology and then like your phenotypical sex traits.
but isn't the community motto "Be who you are"? Right.
Yeah, and you be who you are determined, and then who you are is determined by your neurobiology,
So basically, a
right?
person that changes their opposite sex, the changes to the opposite sex, is considered a trans.
No, someone that is born with a neurobiology that is typical of that of the opposite sex is considered a trans. is
So
considered trans.
what is the label for a person who isn't born that way and transforms still?
Yeah, delusion. But
You
that
call it
doesn't occur.
delusion?
That did like get, but yeah, but that doesn't occur. Like that doesn't happen. You understand that, right? There's not one case of someone that has gotten like sex reassignment surgery that does not have the neurobiology typical that of an opposite sex. Like that is quite literally just not the definition of the word woman, or sorry,
Or
of the word trans woman, right?
or most nobody has a label for it. Like
No,
you
it
just said.
doesn't exist. Hollywood, like that doesn't exist. Is what I'm telling you.
That's what I said is 50-50. It's
It's
a
not
right.
50-50, it's 100% zero. There's not one case of like a trans person that doesn't have neurobiology that is typical of the opposite sex.
All right, let me see if I can look one up right quick. All right, can a person still be?
Yeah, give me an academic study that's done on one that shows that they do not have like, traits of the BNST of the hypothalamus that are typical that
It
of like the
says
opposite
the
sex.
it says the biological basis for transgender identity is unknown, but there does not appear to be a genetic component, especially involved in
All right.
sex steroid metabolism in the
All right, so
brain
what's
during
your
puberty.
source and what's the date?
This is from, let me see, Augusta University.
Okay, now like how do they determine this to be the case? There's obviously going to be conflicting like conclusions in the medical field, but like we should accept like, newer ones that
It
do not have
says
any rebuttals.
the way they determine this is transgender subjects are asked to provide with their medical records related to their condition.
Oh yeah, so you don't have to possess medical records to possess the neurobiology of the opposite sex. What?
And then it says transgender individuals and their non-transgender family members will also be asked to have a small amount of blood drawn on one occasion. DNA will be directly extracted from a
Oh,
portion of
this
the
is like
sample,
DNA. Yeah, so like neurobiology isn't your DNA. You can't like examine one's neurobiological traits by examining their blood.
but neuro has something to do with the brain, right or wrong?
Right. Blood doesn't
Exactly.
have anything to do with the brain.
You say it doesn't?
Yeah, if you take someone's blood, like their blood isn't going to
No,
tell
I'm
you how
saying
thick or thin their
neuro.
dendrites are, or like the level of like FSH and like
No,
the
not that.
BNSD of their
The neurology.
hypothalamus, right? Yeah, blood
The
like
neurology has
doing
something to do with
someone's
the brain.
right. So can you show me
Exactly.
like an EEG of like someone's brain that identifies as trans but does not possess like, the neurobiology of the opposite sex?
All right, let me see.
I think we're gonna move to a different topic, y'all. I tried this one out. It's not working the best today. I want to find more topics that I could work in with why is being gay wrong, but I haven't had much luck. You know?
Okay, it says, well, and really right here, it says for the National Institutes of Health, it talks about abnormalities in transsexualism.
Right, those
So,
abnormalities are going to be the opposite or the incongruence in the neurology. So, like, then yeah, so the National Institute of Health does say that, and that agrees with in my position. You just said abnormalities of their neurology, and those abnormalities are those that are typical of the opposite sex.
okay,
Sweet.
so basically what you say is transgenders are basically formed into that matter of wanting to transition based off their brainwaves or whatever, and it's not
Sure,
DNA.
something like that.
And so a
So
person
what the
who
science says.
isn't, so a person who brainwaves isn't formed that way at an early age, and is later they think they want to become women or whatever, and you
That
think
doesn't
that
exist. There's not, dude. There's seriously not a case of that. You understand that, right?
there's not a case of what.
Of someone not possessing the neurology of the opposite sex, yet feeling as if they're trans.
So you're saying there's no case of a person that at a later age
Can you give
gets.
me, bro, Hollywood, give me one. Come on. This is like
All right,
boring as fuck.
let me see.
Do a poll for next topic. I think that we're just probably going to switch back to, the one and the only. But then after I get off of live tonight, I'm gonna put like a fair amount of time into researching other topics. I'll probably go live on my second account and like we could talk about them together. So, because I really want to start expanding out. I really want to start expanding out into other topics, but like just none of the other ones. Like this one obviously caused guests like this guy and the guests before him, and they're just like not that entertaining or informative, and the viewership doesn't
Okay, it
doesn't do that well.
says there isn't necessarily an age where it's you can not go transition to the opposite, but it also says that transgender as a whole is the opposite. This one sex going to the opposite, going under change.
No, you don't
By
have to go under change to be transgender. If you take one simple class of language, that like the prefix trans just means of the opposite or in of a state of incongruence, right?
Okay, so do you feel like all male trans are men or women?
If you're M to F trans, you're a woman, right?
Yeah, do you feel that way?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so basically you would talk to a trans woman. You would talk to a trans man.
No, because like you could be a woman and have a dick, right? And I'm
What
not
if they have
attracted
that?
to dicks.
But if they have that removed, then you would be attracted to them. Therefore, you would
I don't know.
still
It
be
depends, right?
transgender.
It depends, right? I mean, that's just gonna
I
be like my
mean,
subjective preference.
most commonly, if you look it up, most commonly when a
Well, I'm
man
not
wants
like when we're talking about like who I'm attracted to. I'm not typically attracted to like one's neurobiology, usually like the physicalities of their body and like their personality. And like some of that has to has to do with one's gender identity, but not necessarily the gender identity, right? So like no, like I'm probably not gonna date like the MDF trans that like has a penis.
I'm saying if they
And why
don't,
does it matter what I like? Like that's just like my
most
that's just like
likely
my
they get rid of that.
preference.
So therefore, and if you come across a common transgender that goes through a full transition, that means that is removed as well.
Oh
You
yeah,
would talk.
so if they have like the physical appearance that of a typical female, then of course I would like date them, right?
Okay, so there's nothing wrong with it. So they're not delusional.
And that's what all the institutions say, dude. Do you have any like points as to why it's wrong to be trans?
That
You're
that
kind of
is the
going in
point. You
circles.
just proved the point.
What did I prove?
You just said that. So your argument is there's nothing wrong with it, but you
Right,
just said you went and talked to one on that level because what they have between their legs, even though their
right.
physical appearance
So
is
there's a lot of people I wouldn't talk to, right? So does that make anyone who I wouldn't like talk or be with romantically wrong? No.
okay. So how
They
about
give it
this?
that superpower.
What if a trans come up to you, right,
Oh
talk
wait,
to you?
hold up, wait, Hollywood. I wouldn't talk to or date like a 50-year-old woman. Does that make being a 50-year-old woman wrong? No. I probably wouldn't talk to or
That's
date a
age.
trans woman. Does that make being a
That's
trans woman
aging.
wrong? No.
Aging
Like
is
I probably wouldn't talk to like, a woman with varying interests from me. Does that make being a woman with varying interests from me wrong? No. It's just
but you
like,
just said you wouldn't talk to a transgender. So all right, how about this?
okay,
A
man, I'm just
transgender come
gonna.
up to you.
Well, we tried. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we've tried this topic. Unfortunately, it has not worked out the best. We are going to continue to try new topics every other day because, like, as we all know, like lately, the why is being gay wrong topic has just been doing absolutely phenomenal time and time and time again. And we need to find other topics to wrap into that. So I think we're gonna try another new topic tomorrow and see how it goes. But unfortunately, we are going to go back to the why is being gay wrong. And yeah, I mean, like we're gonna continue working with new topics. I mean, is like so like my criteria that must be met is like people that disagree, and then just like an average level of viewership for me. But hey, just this is all new to me, right? We're working on building the platform out here. Wanda, thank you so much for the $25. Thank you so much, Pineapple. So I'm gonna go ahead and restart the stream here with a topic why is being gay wrong. I highly everyone come back, all 1200 of you guys come right back. We're gonna have some more great debates on why some people think it is wrong to be gay. I'm gonna go ahead and restart literally right now. As soon as all y'all get in there, make sure we're tippity tapping away in that phone screen. Make sure we're blowing up the comment section and engaging with the stream and quite literally literally any way, shape, or form, because that is what's going to get the live to blow up on their For You page. I'm going to be back in literally 10 seconds, y'all. Just be waiting for that restart. I will see you all very, very, very soon.